This is the New Eden update for Thursday, March 10th, 2016. I'm Wiggles, and here's a roundup of a few stories from around New Eden. We start today with a post at Mittani.com about owning Sov, or the burden of owning sovereignty. The current Sov system in EVE Online is extremely burdensome, tiresome, time-consuming, and frankly boring for the defenders. Every day for at least 3 hours, or most likely during the Alliance's prime time, Sov owners get to play whack-a-mole with 20 million-ish ships, repeatedly, needing to upship should a large force come along. The defenders are forced to respond, and when arriving in system, the offending ship just burns away at 4 kilometers a second. Is it impossible to do? No. Should be the driving force behind EVE Online sovereignty system? Hell no. There is no risk to the attacker in this subsystem, and therefore, no driving of fights. The Sov owners get to spend their prime time, assuming every system is at ADM 6, of 3 hours of defending their space. Any attempt to do anything else, for example, go to a timer in LowSec, is neutered with alliances with multiple time zones. Basically get to assign one time zone as a slave duty, while the other get to engage in more fun activities. This post actually then goes on to outline some of the changes that could happen to the current sovereignty system, and then ends with this. Maybe these are just the musings of a bitter veteran. I want to enjoy EVE, and I know that people are unhappy with the current state of sovereignty. So, there are my suggestions. Maybe they will spark ideas in other players or developers for a way to improve on what the majority of EVE sees as, quote, well, it's better than Dominion. Sometimes. Next we go over to Crossing Zebras for a post about the information density overload. Quote, it's Thursday evening like any other. And it is actually. The rat race for the day has been completed. Obligations taken care of, dinner cooked, and a cool Dr. Pepper is sat down unopened on my desk. Mine is actually water, but anyway, thank you. As I listen to the crack and pop of my own wrist joints catching up after the strain of the day, I catch myself saying, quote, I could play some EVE. Gleefully, I double-click that blue-hued icon on the desktop, and soon I will become one of those few thousands of people that form the sandbox of the galaxy that is New Eden. With a click and a loading bar, I get to the character selection screen, containing my carefully constructed and woefully underused Incarnate avatars. They decorate the front of the neon boxes, signifying my characters in one or particular was catching my eye tonight. An aged, white-haired Galentian woman, highly trained in exploration, is making alt, and was drifting in the nether of the space wormhole I managed to find a good while back. So sure, let's see if I can get some iskies tonight. My mind's set, I'm itching to play, but I don't click on the profile of the white-haired woman, not yet. That's as far as I get within the in-game universe of EVE for the moment. I move my cursor to one of my other two monitors and open up a new tab in Chrome. As I type in zkill, the browser's autocomplete predictions already knew what I wanted to search. Clicking it leads me to the wormhole J-code entry for Zkillboard's database. I look over the recent entries and see that a few owners found their ship reimbursements package after contact with the Combat Recon Flying Capsuleer, amongst others. That was done on different days, and the kills were obviously independent of each other. Now, there is a lot more in the post, with a great lot of thought put into it, and I definitely recommend you go and read it. Next, we go to EVE News 24 for a post about a fight in Venal. 9-266Q system in the Venal region on March the 9th at 2100 EVE time, the Imperium forces engaged local residents and allies over a tower in the region. The tower war in the Venal region began between Out of Sight and the Imperium continues in earnest. This time, Out of Sight and its allies had reinforced a tower belonging to Circle of Two in the DTAC-8SI-1 system, and the two sides were preparing to fight over it. Circle of Two had assembled a 150 pilot Eagle Heavy assault cruiser fleet and was travelling to the DTAC-8 system when its scouts reported on hostile fleets converging on it. The fleets in question were an Out of Sight, HAX, and the OSS 50 pilot Typhoon battleship fleet, and an 85 pilot Pandemic Legion Proteus strategic cruiser fleet who managed to reach the Eagle's fleet destination beforehand. effectively cutting it off from the system and forcing it to stop in the 9TAC266 system. The post then goes on to talk about the fight, which I'm not going to read, but I'll read the end part. All told, the battle lasted 40 minutes with time dilation spiking at one point to 70%, but subsiding quickly. The system hosted 560 pilots at the height of fighting. Allied forces lost 55 ships in the fighting, including 20 battleships and 1 heavy assault cruiser for a total of 8.29 billion damage. The Imperium lost 108 ships, including 54 heavy assault cruisers, 18 cruisers for a total of 26.54 billion damage. Now, our last post today is the dev blog about the Tranquility's Tech 3 upgrade. Quote, now that the week has passed or so since we lifted the VIP mode for the first time on our new data center, we can call it out Op Success. Even though it was a pretty rough start, that eventful Monday, February the 29th, we are damn proud of the achievement. Without a doubt, the Tranquility Tech 3 upgrade, upgrading and moving EVE Online's main game server, is the single biggest assignment on CCP Operations Department that it has taken on. And it involved 1 year of planning, debating the best approach, tons of paperwork, complicated transfer logistics, and then finally moving safely between sites. Now, the blog then goes on to outline actually what did happen with the unscheduled few days downtime and all the ups and downs, and what CCP did to fix it. With lots of lovely graph porn and stats in there for all the nerds out there. There is one more bit I wish to quote from the post though. A few days have now passed, and we have already had one brawl in Hakonin where 1,500 pilots fought, which ran on one of the 25 standard nodes of the Tech 3 Tranquility. Excuse me. The 6 reinforced nodes of Tech 3 Tranquility still remain to see proper action, so we wait eagerly to see how they perform. We saw reports of both good and positive and negative feedback, which obviously help us to tweak and fine-tune the hardware. Elsewhere in EVE-related content, new blog posts are out today from Wilhelm Taurus and Rick Javix. Again, nothing new on the podcast front, but Cypher, who runs evepodcast.com and runs the RSS feed into Total Eve, thinks there might be an issue with the RSS feed itself with some other sites out there. So any podcasters out there, please, if you have changed anything on your RSS, let Cypher know. Plex prices in the Forge region today are registering an average traded price of 1,157,000,000 so far today, which is up slightly from yesterday's closing average of 1,155,000,000. The top buy order in Jita right now is 1,145,000,000 and sell orders are starting at 1,157,000,000. Skill extractors are trading at 267 million, which is down from yesterday's average of 268 million. The top buy order for those is starting at 263 million and sell orders are starting at 266. Skill injectors are trading at 617 million, down from yesterday's average of 623. Buying starting at 605 and selling starting at 614. Thank you if you, yes you, the person watching this, listening to this either live on twitch.tv or YouTube or in post, have got a little bit of value out of it and decided to give a bit back, because you know what, that helps. If you want to, and you can, go to patreon.com/wiggles where you can support us on Patreon. That basically helps us run the show, helps us run the servers and do the costs. Now I know not everyone can do. If you can afford $1 a month, great. If you can't, all I ask, tell your friends, your co-workers, your alliance mates, the dog, the goldfish, hell, even random people on the street. Just tell them, listen to the New Eden update. The easiest way to do it, tag 3 friends that you have on social media, whether that be Tweetfleet, Slack, Twitter, Facebook, wherever, and just say, hey, check this podcast out, it's out every day. There are also other ways that you can help support the show. If you go to newedenupdate.com/support, you will be able to find them out there. And as you can tell, we broadcast live on Twitch and YouTube now, and then obviously while we're recording it and put it up as a podcast, so feedback is always welcomed. Thank you, because it helps out. You can send that feedback, funnily enough, to feedback@newedenupdate.com, or you can leave some comments in the show blog, newedenupdate.com. You can also send us a tweet, because we're on the Twitters @newedenupdate. I also encourage you to check out all the latest headlines, the podcasts, the blog posts, and everything else that you can find, including Reddit posts and dev posts, CSM posts, and even stuff from random websites, little links, on totaleve.com. This has been the New Eden Update for Thursday, March 10th, 2016. I'm Wiggles, and we will be back tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening.